Good morning, students. So, in the previous video, we have studied about Salt March and calling of the civil disobedience movement, and again relaunch of civil disobedience movement. But that relaunching for 1 year it became effective, and then again it lost its momentum. So, the reasons of that lies in these paragraphs. So, let us look at the different social groups that participated in the civil disobedience movement. Why did they join the movement? So, different social groups were there. As we all know that our country is comprised of different social groups. So, they all participated in the movement. So, what were their ideals? Everyone was not fighting for the independence of the country. They were fighting for their small issues. What did Swaraj mean to them? So, in countryside, rich peasant communities like the Patidars of Gujarat and the Jats of Uttar Pradesh, they were very active in the movement. But what were their demands? Being producers of commercial crops, they were hard hit by the trade depression and falling prices. As their cash income disappeared, they found it impossible to pay the government's revenue demand. So, because of certain reasons you have read, because of those reasons, they were not able to pay the revenue to the government. So, and the refusal of the government to reduce the revenue demand led to widespread resentment. They asked the government that they could not pay the revenue, but British government was brutal. They told them they had to pay the revenue. So it became the condition of restlessness among the those rich peasants. These rich peasants became enthusiastic supporters of the civil disobedience movement, organizing their communities and at times forcing reluctant members to participate in the boycott program. So they were quite actively participating the movement, and even they were forcing their members to boycott things. For them, the fight for Swaraj was the struggle against high revenue. This is a very important point. So, for them, fight for Swaraj, the meaning of fight for Swaraj means to fight for their revenue, means to fight against high revenues. But they were deeply disappointed when the movement called off in 1931 without the revenue rates being revised. So, when the movement was restarted in 1932, many of them refused to participate. So that was the reason for their not participating the movement. So the movement lost the active participants. Now, the poorer peasantry were not just interested in the lowering of the revenue demand. Many of them were small tenants cultivating land they had rented from landlords. So now, other part of the society, other section of the society, poor peasantry, poor peasants. So they were their interest was not just low revenue, but they were interested in other things also. What were the other things we will study? As the depression continued and cash income dwindled, the small tenants found it difficult to pay their rent. They used to pay rent to the rich peasants. They wanted the unpaid rent to the landlord to be remitted. So now they also wanted their rent to be remitted. They joined a variety of radical movements, often led by socialists and communities. Many movements they joined. Apprehensive of raising issues that might upset the rich peasants and landlords, the Congress was unwilling to support no rent campaigns in most places. So see the contradiction. Congress doesn't want to lose those rich peasants also. That's why Congress was not supporting their no rent campaign in most places, because the things that both were the participants in the movement. So the relationship between the poor peasants and the Congress remain uncertain. So here also uncertainty was there. Now, what about the business class? Business class was also the important part of our society. How did they relate to the civil disobedience movement? What, according to them, was civil disobedience movement? During the First World War, Indian merchants and industrialists had made huge profits and become powerful because Britishers were busy in their warfare, so Indians took that opportunity. Keen on expanding their business, they now reacted against colonial policies that restricted business activities. So now they wanted to spread their business that knew no bounds. They wanted to get success in their business. That's why they started reacting against colonial harsh laws of business. They wanted protection against import of foreign goods and rupee sterling foreign exchange ratio that would discourage imports. So they wanted these kind of changes, general changes. They wanted that value of rupee should increase, and they wanted that import of foreign goods, there must not be any tax on that. To organize business interests, they formed the Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress. You can underline it, important one. Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress, they formed in 1920, and the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industries, FICCI, in 1927, led by prominent industries like Purushottam Das Thakur Das and G.D. Birla. The industrialists attacked colonial control over the Indian economy and supported the civil disobedience movement when it was first launched. So, they made these two firms, they made, and why they made them? To just to keep their interests. Then prominent industrialists like Purushottam Das and G.D. Birla, what they did, they collected or gathered all the other industrialists, and they became against the policies of the British government. So they joined the movement when it was first launched. They gave financial assistance, obviously, and refused to buy or sell imported goods. Means they did what they could when the movement first launched. Most businessmen came to see Swaraj as the time when colonial restrictions on business would no longer exist and trade and industry would flourish without constraints. So, according to them, Swaraj means that now no British colonial restrictions will be there on their business, and their business was going to flourish again without any hurdles. But after the failure of the Round Table Conference, business groups were no longer uniformly enthusiastic. Their enthusiasm became very less after the failure of Round Table Conference. They were apprehensive of the spread of militant activities, means they were against the spread of militant activities because it influenced their business in a very harsh manner, and they were worried about prolonged disruption of business as well as of the growing influence of socialism among the younger members of the Congress. They were against socialism also. Socialism means whatever property is there, that should come under the government. The industrial working classes did not participate in the civil disobedience movement in large number. So afterwards, when the movement was relaunched, industrial working class, those who were the workers, they did not participate in the civil disobedience movement in large number, except in the Nagpur region. But in Nagpur region, they participated. As the industrialists came closer to the Congress, workers stayed aloof. So industrialists became closer to the Congress, so workers, they made distance from Congress because both cannot go hand in hand. As they But in spite of that, some workers did participate in the civil disobedience movement, selectively adopting some of the ideas of Gandhian program. Means they were not in the favor of all the ideas of Gandhian program, but they chose certain ideas accordingly, like boycott of foreign goods as a part of their own movement against low wages and poor working condition. So they supported boycott of foreign goods, and for their own, they were against low wages and poor working conditions. There were strikes by the railway workers in 1930s and dock workers in 1932. In 1930s, thousands of workers in Chota Nagpur tin mines wore Gandhi caps and participated in protest rally and boycott campaigns. So they participated from, but in the Nagpur region only. But the Congress was reluctant to include workers' demand as a part of its program of struggle. Again, because Congress wanted the support of rich industrialists also, so they did not accept the demand of workers. So it felt that this would alienate industrialists and divide anti-imperial forces. So this was the thing that they wanted the support of rich industrialists. Another important feature of civil disobedience movement was large scale participation of women. Women also participated in large scale in this campaign. So this portion we will study in the next video. For today it is enough. You are supposed to revise all the things from the chapter, make a flow chart of the chapter, of the events of the chapter, so that it would be easier for you to understand these things. Question answers I will tell you after the completion of the chapter. That will be uploaded in the assignment slot of the website. Thank you. Have a nice day, students.